good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Mark. Hello, Mark.
Thanks, mate.
How you doing?
All right, you?
Yeah, a bit pissed off.
Well, our politicians do that to us, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't thinking when I gave the intro. My apologies.
I can tell.
I was just thinking about some of the things we're going to talk about tonight.
Oh, it's depressing,
in the aftermath. I've titled it, Henry Nowak, the aftermath, and of the things that have gone on. And to be honest with you, I am absolutely disgusted that Starmer and the rest of them are now starting to distract,
of course,
from the real issues that are going on there to shift it onto far right. And Farage, and I do believe that they were having a go at Rupert. I've got a little segment on him, Mr.
Of course,
Rupert
well,
Lowe.
mate, even though I'm not aware he's actually really said anything.
Well, he did it. He did actually in Parliament. He said, he said we should bring back, the death penalty. There are certain things, that, and I thought, actually, I'm actually all for that, especially in this case. You know?
Bit of capital and corporal punishment. Flog a few of them.
Well, and let's keep it equal,
Look, they just want to deflect from the fact that Labour started this crap. The Conservatives just let it flourish, and now Labour are paying for it, and they're never going to back down. What are they saying now? Lessons are learned.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to learn lessons. Yet you always learn your lesson, you lot, don't you?
Well, the chief constable, the chief constable of Hampshire and Isle of Wight, he's apologised to the family.
Yeah, because that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, this is all about it's all about Henry tonight, and just a few little things to a little bit of housekeeping just to get everybody in the mood and understanding of things we're going to talk about. So here we go.
Yeah, apologies for being a little bit late.
CCTV. Always got the money for CCTV. And Matrix vans outside the match. And speed camera vans on the A roads to the ground. And a copper filming lads having a sing-song like it's fucking counter-terrorism. But let's ask where the station went. Ask why response times are what they are. Ask why every town in this country has a high street that looks like a film set for something post-apocalyptic. Butchers closed. Betting shop open. Laundrette closed. Fruit and veg shop closed. Bank closed. Vape shop open. Post office closed. Turkish barbers open. Chippy closed. Mobile phone repair shop open. Pub closed. See the pattern? They defunded the things that held communities together and doubled down on the things that watched them fall apart. And when lads kick off about it, they get called a problem, antisocial, far right, a risk. Officer, we didn't create the conditions, we just live in them.
Well, how true is that?
Yeah, it used to be the football hooligans feeling the heat, but now it's the far right, or what we're commonly known as patriots. Common sense
it
patriots.
Could be, the new term that I've coined is the far white.
The far always right. Just always right will do.
No, far white.
They've been calling us names for over a decade.
And it's all highlighted serious problems, serious fundamental problems in this country. And I picked up on this, and you've sent stuff in, ready that we're going to discuss tonight. But I picked up on this, and it was Andrew Bridgen. And he was saying, do we have the most corrupt... He was asked the question, are we the most corrupt country in the world?
Got to be up there, haven't we? Let's face it. Name one that isn't corrupt.
Well, I know. You get corruption at different levels, but we're supposed to
name one.
No. There are corrupt countries. Ukraine was one of them, one of the biggest, most corrupt country. That was known fact. EU.
Oh, yeah. Well,
EU.
Mate, the BBC and Sky and everyone were calling them out for being corrupt up until Russia started the war with them, and then but they're still corrupt. There's not.
Yeah.
I bet you if you looked into every government in the world, mate, every single one of them's corrupt.
Yeah, there's something.
In my
there's something
opinion,
there.
if you all want to take me to court, good luck.
Well, I don't. Who's going to take you to court? What are they going to do? They haven't got enough police to do anything.
I know,
they're too busy. They're too busy collecting bins for the council. The police.
I mean,
Did you see? We've got that to show as well.
Someone wants to sue me. Well, you can't have what I haven't got. So, do you know what I mean?
They'll take your balls, sir. Okay.
Do you know
They'll
what?
show you.
They get me in trouble, then. So it might be for the best. But anyway.
Well, here's Andrew Bridgen, and he's being asked the question: Are we the most corrupt country in the world?
We possibly have the most corrupt country in the world in the UK, and some people will be shocked by that statement.
Really?
Honestly, any apple that wishes to rise to the top has to be willing to rot. And if you're not willing to rot, you can't go to the top. You've got, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the 13 original banking families, huge wealth. And they have the ability to buy our politicians.
What happened with the Boris wave? Who was forcing him to do that? Why did he give in to those forces?
Boris has the same masters that all our other prime ministers have.
And he gave in to them?
Well, he has no choice.
Do you think Boris Johnson nearly died during COVID?
It was all pantomime. And
for what purpose?
To scare people into the lockdown measures and the vaccines that were coming.
Otherwise, he would have been removed as Prime Minister.
Absolutely. John Smith was the leader of the Labour Party.
Yes.
He was well-liked and popular and probably going to win an election. Didn't become Prime Minister, did he?
Do you think he was killed? Nigel Farage, who has always been viewed as someone who was fighting this establishment, you allege that he is now compromised too.
Yes, he had some very near-miss incidents with an aeroplane and his car.
You don't believe that they were genuine events?
I've never had the wheels come off my car going up the motorway.
You think someone has compromising material on Nigel Farage?
They wouldn't let him get to the position of leading any party unless they had that on him. Which is why Rupert Lowe is getting hammered on all fronts.
You think Restore Britain is the last hope?
If we have any elections, damn.
Do you worry that they might try and kill you?
Some good questions there from Dan. Good questions. And he's not the only one that says that, they think that Farage is in some way got at.
Well,
he's getting away with a lot of stuff.
Well, this is the thing. You see, even if those couple of incidents that he mentioned with the car and the plane, even if that wasn't an attempt, they could very easily pretend it was them, couldn't they, and say,
yeah.
I've seen you've been in a couple of scrapes recently. Do you want to do as we say? And he'll be like, what? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Because those comments he made about the rage, I could see how they could easily have a go at him for that. I mean, Lucy Connolly felt the heat. So if nothing happens to him and no one even tries, then I think that might be confirmation. Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see who feels the heat off making comments, because I know Tommy and a few other people have.
I've got those.
Let's see who feels the heat and let's see who doesn't, mate.
I think Tommy's the one that's gonna feel the heat. I think they'll go for him.
Farage never seems to feel the heat, does he?
Do you remember I was talking earlier on about Rupert Lowe? Well, here's the segment of him in Parliament.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every week we hear of a brutal murder, rape or stabbing, far too often perpetrated by someone who should not be in our country to begin with. Does the Prime Minister agree that for cases where the guilt is so undeniable, the crime so monstrous, the evil so irredeemable, the reintroduction of the death penalty for both foreign and domestic criminals should be put to the British people in a legally binding referendum?
Can I first say that any attack...
Yeah, we know. There you go.
I'll fill in for what it...
Do you know, I mean, the guy's speaking sense, because the death penalty would be the ultimate deterrent. It'd be the deterrent. I mean, they've got it in America. All right, they still have murders and they still have shootings and they still have that. But it does deter. When they know that they're going to get you.
Let's look at the scumbag Axel, right?
Yeah.
Do you reckon Rupert Lowe would have said that about him? They'd all still go, oh no, keep him alive. Because when we've kept him alive, is he injured multiple prison guards now? I think.
He has. He's attacked multiple prison guards.
and these are probably life-changing injuries if you're have boiling water thrown over you, especially with sugar in or whatever they're doing, like that napalm thing they make in prison. So it'd save a lot of money, wouldn't it?
Yep,
what,
absolutely.
Like these jihadis? I mean, what, someone who blows kids up at a concert, or his family and that? No, why should they even be on this earth? You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. I mean, they're a waste of oxygen. I think that's the best way of putting it. Now, we're going to move into Henry Nowak. And here's a comment from a retired police officer about what those two police officers did to him.
Yeah. Is it the one I think it is?
Hi, everybody. Straight talking arsehole here. I've just been watching a bit of news, and Shabnam Chowdhury, an Asian ex-superintendent from the Met, has been given a bit of a spiel on why things have happened the way they have with Mr. Nowak, and the fact the officers have been on duty until the end of the trial. I've got to say, I've never heard such a crock of crap come out of my mouth in all my life. Those people, those police officers who let him die, should have been suspended the same day.
Yeah.
Why have they been at work for the last 188 days or 182 days while they're waiting to go to trial? Why have they been allowed to go to work every day and earn money when they've been absolutely disgraceful? We have created a society which is absolutely disgusting when our public bodies don't take action when things go wrong. Those police officers should have been at the very least suspended the next morning. There's absolutely no reason why they should have stayed at work. It's disgusting. We treat members of the public with complete disdain and look after public body people like they're special when they're just not. They are a shameful crowd. Anybody who's been in the police who worth their salt knows the first thing you do if you go to see somebody lying on the floor is make sure that person is all right. It's just common human decency. Is that missing in policing now? Common human decency?
Well, is it missing?
It's gone, mate. Look, we spoke about this the other day, but we hadn't seen the video. And now we've seen it. Oh, it's horrendous. I mean, I've tried to be objective and go, okay, they've turned up. They normally take the side of who they believe is the victim. All right, that's what they've done. All right, he says he's been stabbed. There was no clear signs of any knife wounds. Normally, in my experience, there'd be some blood somewhere, but that's not an excuse because that guy, when the police turned up, Henry was on the floor.
Yeah.
But the one who wasn't the victim was stood there without any physical marks on him whatsoever. Now, if you went to a situation, John, and someone was on the floor and he looked unresponsive, I get it, right, that they'll be desensitised to it. And they probably see call after call after call of people on the floor, drunk, off their heads, whatever. Yeah, okay. But he said he'd been stabbed.
Yeah.
So he drags him out by his foot. And he continues to say he's been stabbed. Now, the bit people might not have worked out is when they ask him where he's been stabbed, he says his face. But we don't see his face. So if we presume there's no blood on his face, we can say, oh, well, it doesn't look like there's any signs of stabbing. But I've looked at the judge's remarks.
Yeah.
And if you go through them, which I'd advise everyone to do, then you'll find that he had a slash wound on his face. So those police knew something had happened to him while he was on that floor before that video cut. Why did it cut? Probably because they left him there to die, didn't they? That police officer, desensitised, due to the race thing, whatever, he sounded like he couldn't have given a shit, didn't he? He wasn't arsed in the slightest. I'm sorry, but if you ask any medical professional, like a paramedic or something, John, if they turned up to a scene like that and didn't cut his clothes open to check him, they would have been fired the next day. So I think it should stand for them too.
Well, here's, I'm not a big fan of the Conservatives, but Chris Phelps did make some good points, and here's Chris now.
I know, but again, John, they've let
you
this
think there is two-tier policing in this country. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes, I do, because it's enshrined in that policy document, which then gets propagated via training, recruitment, leadership, culture, and so on. The idea that people should be treated differently based on their ethnic identity is completely wrong, in my view. It's divisive, and it leads to the public not being protected properly.
There you go. Now, It's a good point. Now, the thing is, though, you were already on it. I know that because we had a conversation about this yesterday. And you said, yes, have the sympathy, because we're going to talk about, this rage comment that Farage was supposed to have said. But, okay, the truth of the matter is, without changes to what's going on, I give you this opportunity now to talk about these policies, and then we'll show some of the other things that have gone on. So if I were to say, for example, go to this, okay, and here's the policy doc, okay. Now you tell me, where you need me to go, and I'll go it. But
I'll be honest.
I've read it, and I know what it's like. But you go ahead.
Let's just freestyle it, ad lib. Just scroll down, and we'll have a look at some things, and we'll see if how it's working. So if we just go down.
Yeah.
Just scroll down, and then we'll just have a little read, and we'll just pick a couple of bits out, because the whole thing's bizarre when you look at what's actually happened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Well, there you go.
Bad. It's bad. I'll be able to make sure whatever I'm reading's in the middle. So here we go. It's enshrined in our force.
Mm-hmm.
They are literally now told to search out discrimination.
Yeah.
Rather than doing their job of arresting people. If we go down to each point, I think they're numbered. And we'll just look at some of them. And we'll...
See what it says there? Despite all these efforts, there are times when our staff undermine the public's trust and confidence and that of their colleagues by behaving in an unethical and discriminatory way. Right now, when they're talking about unethical and discriminatory way, if you go down slightly on this page, right, look what they start saying. The murder of George Floyd by serving police officers in the USA was a pivotal moment for policing in the UK. Why was it a pivotal moment? Why is not Henry Nowak a pivotal moment? Why was somebody a drug addict in the US, and I'm from the US, and I wouldn't give a shit for George Floyd, right, at all, because he was a bad man. And why is he... Floyd. Yeah, and it really does annoy me. Go on, carry on.
Let's look at it. So, right, that's in another country. It's got sod all to do with us.
Yeah.
Right? George Floyd, throughout the whole trial, no one was claiming the murder was racially motivated.
No.
Not once. Do you know what? Wales probably better without people like that who put guns to pregnant women's stomachs to rob them.
Yeah.
And then for some reason in our country now, we've got to have all these policies, which are doing the opposite of what they're saying. It's not really working, is it?
Well, look, much has been done by policing to address racism in the police and society. Policing is more inclusive, more diverse, and more reflective of our communities.
Feels sick.
Bullshit. Because the communities are being taken over in certain areas, and that's it. But equally, it still contains a racism, discrimination, and bias. How can they say that? How can they say it?
See, right. Remember when Lee Anderson, we'll stop on our commitments. Remember when Lee Anderson had the police in, and he said to them, "So what advantages do white people have over other people in the police?" And she went, "They don't have any." And he said, "So how are you institutionally racist?" And she went,
"Yeah, absolutely."
So sorry, what? So here we go. Zero tolerance of racism. Okay. So it's anti-racist in all it does. In all it does. So we've got politicians who are like, Islam comes first. Not the country, not the constitution. Now you've got police. It's not. The law comes first and, victims. It's anti-racist in all it does. Understanding and reducing disproportionality. Do you think maybe that applied to Henry? Because I don't think he was dealt with proportionally, was he? He was just left on the floor.
No.
Understanding the impact, trauma, and history of policing ethnic minority communities. What about the whole community as a whole? What about our community?
Well, and why have they got to focus in on ethnic minorities?
Why? Because they are anti-racist in all they do. So, improving outcomes and support for ethnic minority victims of crime. Well, they done that the other night, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
they
succeed.
Who the victim was.
Oh yeah, even taking the guy to the kitchen to let him choose his own meal.
Terrible. So the majority suffer, but the minority, that's great. increasing our contact with and involving ethnic minority communities in our policing. So when something happens, it's, we've got to protect the mosques and we've got to protect the synagogues. What about the main community, the homogenous people of this country whose ancestors have been here for 1,000 fucking years? Yeah. When do we get contact? When do we have decisions concerning us? Recruiting, retraining. You don't
the retaining is what wants, I want the recruiting, retaining, and a progressing a representative workforce. What do they mean by that? Because if they treat everybody fair, it's best man for the job. White, black, yellow, pink, red, it doesn't matter. Best man or woman for the job.
But they're not the best people. This is why we need to disband this police. We need to set up an alternative police force before it's disbanded. And we have strict rules. You only enter this police force if you can do this. And it's physical. And if you can't arrest somebody, then you're gone. If you don't understand the law, you're gone. If you've got these woke traits and you can't get this ideology, you're gone. You're not even never mind gone. You're not even in it, mate. You're not even in it at all. So
look at that. We want a workforce that truly reflects and represents the changing communities it serves, and where all understand the business and individual benefits associated with recruitment. So is this the reason why all the migrants get so much more protection?
Yeah.
When this is bullshit, and they know it.
You're seeing this. This will make us more inclusive and better able to serve the public and support victims, really, because you've turned up to an incident where one guy doesn't look hurt and one guy's on the floor unresponsive, saying he's been stabbed with what we now believe was a visible slash mark on his face, per the judge's report from the pathologist. So what does it say? We need to, where was I? Yeah. So that's not good support for any victims, because Henry was the victim.
Yeah.
He was clearly the victim. We recognise the need to have more diversity within senior ranks.
Mm-hmm.
So where's this stuff coming from right now, then? It's not coming from the minorities.
Who's writing this shit as well?
This isn't coming from the minorities in the senior ranks, because they're saying there isn't any. This is coming from people whose ancestry is from this island.
Yeah.
They're becoming more of a problem. It might be better if there was some minorities in there, because they might not be brainwashed with this crap as much.
We want ethical policing.
Yeah, ethical. So
try telling that to all the victims of the grooming gangs.
Yeah,
that was ethical policing, wasn't it? When they actually joined in to cover it up.
Apart from the actual English, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Irish, and so where we police with courage and respect. Oh, that's brave and respectful, leaving a poor lad to die on the fucking floor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? But as long as you deliver a public service that is anti-discriminatory and explains or reforms disproportionality. Here again, that was so disproportionality to leave one lad on the floor when he's telling you he's been stabbed. And some fella goes, we've got a swollen eye. And here we go. We want to hear from all our communities, apart from the natives. You can go and F yourselves, basically. Because you don't want to reach them. You don't want to understand how policing impacts them. You know how it impacts them. They get left on the floor to die because you couldn't give a crap.
Yeah.
Transparent. Yeah,
we will protect all of our communities. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. You can't even get the police to come out to a burglary. You can't get anything. You try getting them out. You've got more chance, right? And this is what some people do in Liverpool, right, and surrounding areas. They call the fire brigade because at least they know if they've got a problem going on, they know that fire brigade is going to be there in 10 minutes. And, if it's women or, they are being battered or what have you, they're told to call the fire brigade because big burly fire officers will come out and they'll look at it and they'll just go, shit, okay? And they'll deal with it. And then they'll call the police and force the police to come out.
Yeah, I think this Section D is a big one, which could have contributed to what's happened. Look, to be honest, I mean, I think the race card was a factor, but it could have easily been the fact that police are fucking useless sometimes, mate. But here it is. We will pursue offenders and deal with offences that cause the most harm to our ethnic minority communities. So when they turn up to an instance, it doesn't matter whether there's a lad whose ancestry is from here or whatever. It's lying on the floor dead. It doesn't matter because we've got to deal with the ones who cause the most harm to our whatever communities we've invented today. We
The
want to
police
deliver
have
a
got
police
to-
service that all of our communities
Yeah.
and the victims can be proud of. Do you reckon Henry's family are proud of your actions?
Well, they might be saying one thing publicly, but they might be thinking another. If it were me, I'd be thinking another. And another thing as well, okay? The ethnic communities are not paying the bulk of the police wages. We are. And that's another fact. And I wish we had a vote, right, on the police. I wish we did have a vote. Like in America, you know, some of the police in the States, they have to be voted in.
Yeah.
You know, the sheriffs, they have to be voted in. If we had a vote, do you think any of these chief constables would get a fucking job? Do you think they would?
Probably not, mate, to be honest, because as soon as they open their mouth, they get votes out. So here's the last line there, look. So our victims, so that's the Sikh guy in their eyes. Our victims will be put first and treated according to their needs, regardless of someone dead on the floor. Because I'll change that last bit. Because any differences that may exist. So it doesn't matter. Any differences, don't care. He's a different colour and he's on the floor dead. But we will put the victims of our minorities before anything. Because it's our duty to be anti-racist in all we do. In all we do. And this just isn't the police force either. This is schools, hospitals. This is everywhere. It's an infection. I think we need a referendum. Never mind the death penalty. We need a referendum. It's dead simple. Do you want to be replaced in your own country or not? Yes or no?
No.
Or C, go F yourselves.
Oh, you're not swearing now.
Try my best. I might have slipped a couple in.
Well,
this is just going to keep getting worse unless they
stop.
stop.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Here's another thing as well. When I read this, our own black and ethnic minority network. Why have we got a black and ethnic minority network? Okay, so if you've got a black and ethnic minority network, why can't we have a white and ethnic minority network? Because there are white ethnic communities as well.
These people are just a walking contradiction, John. They go on about assimilation and people got to, fit into our culture. Yeah, they're the ones separating everyone by skin colour. That's vague as well, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Brown, black. What do these things even mean? They're separating everyone, but saying, "Well, no, we've got multiculturalism." What does that even mean? You mean you just let loads of people in the country, you don't care whether they assimilate or not, you don't care the effects on the people. And now they're like, oh, don't you dare kick off and do this, that, and the other. Are they really that stupid, John, where they think people are just going to take their own replacement in their own country and along the way, I don't know, be treated as second-class citizens compared to the people replacing them? Do these morons actually think people are just going to stay calm and lap this up every time kids are beheaded or blown up or someone's left to die on the floor? Are they really that stupid? Because this needs to stop, because the outcome to this at the end is just going to be so tragic when this boils over. They're not going to be able to stop it, are they?
This is just infuriating. And this is the kind of stuff that they're pumping in schools as well, to actually get kids, recruited in their DEI bullshit. And I'm sorry,
doesn't it? Where you want to leave them to die on the floor. We could go through every line of this and literally just absolutely destroy it. I read it and I was like, oh my God. Like every single line.
Here's the difference now. Address any disproportionality in our response or outcomes for victims from black and ethnic minority communities. No. It should be fair and equal right across the board. Shabana Mahmood, in her statement, which I covered yesterday, she turned around and said, this has nothing to do with religion. This was a crime. Okay? This was a crime and somebody got murdered. Now, address any disproportionality in our response or outcomes for victims from black and ethnic minority communities. Bullshit. Okay? That needs to go. All this crap needs to go. Supporting and promoting the use of third-party reporting schemes. What is it? If they were put to a vote, these police wouldn't get jobs. They wouldn't get them. They would be out, and they know it. And the same with police and crime commissioners. And if you're listening, to our police and crime commissioner in Cheshire, hey, you've got something coming to you, sir. I'm telling you now, right? After all of this, of what's gone on.
Politically, obviously.
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt.
Before you start trying to twist things.
No. They know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well,
I don't care.
The problem we've got here is they're just totally trashing our constitution and the way what the police and everything was set up for. In these, well, especially in schools, they teach British values, or do they though? Because I'd say that one of the most British values was equality before the law, would you not? So we've got to watch out here, because in the judge's remarks it says you are a member, and this is to the I'm not even going to say his name, the scumbag. You are a member of an order of Sikhs called the Nihang, who have a tradition of having a second knife, John, or kirpan, that is often fully visible, believing that the guru will look favourably on that. So they're now thinking it's acceptable to walk around with 2 knives when the rest of us can't even walk around with 1. So either everyone has them or nobody has them. Because there's going to be dickheads like that walking around with 2 knives. Equality under the law. Absolute joke. For them to bang on about British values. I'm not being funny. No group identity or sky fairy nonsense should permit anyone to carry a knife if we're not allowed to carry one too. Like, where's the equality under the law?
That's
John,
what I said. That's what I said in the broadcast at Shabana Mahmood.
Yeah, from these islands, it's our ancestry, but we're not allowed to carry anything. But now you're going to have some of them carrying 2 round, and no one's going to want to say anything to them because, well, I don't want to appear racist. Well, look where that's got us. Well, that's got people dead on the floor. There's just gang jihadi rape non-stop. That's where that's getting us, mate.
Well, I want to start an offshoot of the Christian religion, which means, I get to carry a gun because it's part of my religion.
We're all missing a trick, mate. I'm now a Sikh.
Oh, so yeah, you're going to carry a knife? Yep.
Well, I don't know where to get them kirpans from, but if I just say I'm a Sikh, does that mean I can have one? Do you know what I mean? It's just play the game. Yeah. Everyone just go, right, we're all Sikhs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you've got the family there in court. Get rid of them. Get rid of them, John. They've got to go. But they won't know, will they? Because now it's going to be all the far right and full force of the law and all that.
It's got nothing to do with far right. And that's what really annoys me about the politicians, especially the Labour politicians, that start to distract. And I know that. That's the way that they are. And, I'll just state it out quite clearly, right? And this is a message for Dan and the Police and Crime Commissioner's office there, okay? When you are, and this is without a shadow of a doubt, when you see the police going after Peter Murrell for 400,000 and you're told about things 5 times that amount and you just sit back and do nothing and say, you've got a big problem now because it's going to come out. And it really is going to come out. And that's a message that also goes through to another bunch in Cheshire, okay? And you're going to start hearing the question, where's the 2 million quid? All right? And for you listening, it's coming. It's coming.
I think before we go off on get sidetracked.
I know. Sorry. The inconsistency of the police and the rest of it, it's bad. Anyway, okay, so here it is. This is Tommy on the DEI policies, right, that killed Henry. Here you go.
The murder of Henry Nowak. It took 2 minutes to go onto Hampshire Police's website, yeah? Hampshire Police. This is where this institutional racism... This
is what we were talking about.
This is why white boy was handcuffed. This is why, whilst dying, this is their policies, okay? The murder of George Floyd by serving police officers in the USA was a pivotal moment for policing in the UK. How the fuck was it a pivotal moment? A dead crackhead who died of a drug overdose in the United States.
We just said all of this.
In a legal hold by a police officer. But anyway, driving the need for real change. Whilst a tragic event happened in another country, policing across the UK has over many years had a strained relationship with some communities. Nationally, the Police Race Action Plan, which is where this problem comes from, was created to address the racial disparities and distrust associated with police in particular for those in minority communities. We will pursue offenders and deal with offences that cause the most harm to our ethnic minorities. Not the most harm to the public, the most harm to our ethnic minorities. Address disproportionate victimisation Make sure that staff and officers are trained to recognise and deal with crimes that impact most of our ethnic minorities. Do you know who the biggest impact is against? It's us.
Yeah.
How many ethnic minority girls were raped from one end of the country to the other?
Exactly. We've said the same
I'll tell you how many,
thing.
not fucking many. It was all young white English girls. Right? And you didn't charge any one of those people who raped them, calling them dirty little white bitches, with a hate crime. Why was this Sikh man not charged with a hate crime? He made it about race when he rang the police and said white boy. And he accused him of racism. So it was a racial murder. Yeah. That's what this was. He was racially targeted by that man, and he was murdered, and your police officers done nothing because he was white. Because you were so scared of this. So the officer who handcuffed him, the officer ignored his plea after plea after plea for an ambulance. He's been stabbed. They fucking ignored him. Would they ignored him if he was non-white? You bet your life they wouldn't have, because their training wouldn't have allowed them to. This all comes
exactly
down to
what we've just been through.
Training. The hierarchy of the police, the head of that police is responsible. Your hands are dirty because you created this atmosphere. Not just the handcuffing officer, you, the government, Keir Starmer, every one of you brought in these policies that attack white people. That's what it is.
I have to agree with him, okay? I'm not racist. I was born in the States. All my friends were of so many different colours.
Stop making excuses and have to go, well, I'm not this and I'm not that. Fuck him, don't care. Fuck George Floyd.
I don't care. I don't give a shit.
John.
I literally am not, I haven't got a racist bone in my body, and I don't care. But I am so worried about being white in this country. I'm worried about it because, quite simply, you know, you can be targeted and they can get away with it. That kid has been stabbed. And literally, they tried to get away with it. And if it wasn't for the public outcry that's come up, do you think that guy would have got 21 years? Look at some of the decisions that some of these judges have made.
John, that's not a great one either, mate, because he's gone below the minimum what he could have got anyway for that crime. So he's let him off lightly because 21 years. So what? You think he might come out a bit? He could put him in his 40s when he comes out.
If they let him out,
they shouldn't be getting trained to do any of this bollocks. They should be trained to know the law, know how to assess fucking situations, and know how to save a life would be good as well, wouldn't it? You know, recognise when someone's in distress, when they're out cold on the floor, begging you and saying they've been stabbed. No, no, you haven't, mate.
Oh, the first thing I'm going to be saying to any police officer, I'm alarmed and distressed by that man over there.
But then you've got the wrong shade of skin for that. I'm
going to say, no. I'll identify as white. I'll identify as black. I'll identify as anything just to get round all this bullshit. I mean, listen to this woman. Listen to this woman.
Because they would hate for that to have been their own son, own grandson. So they're here for the Nowak family and for Henry to show him that justice will be served by the people. And I'm going to speak to someone now. This is Lorraine. You've come down to protest today. What is it that brought you down here?
Because, in my opinion, I feel that the police are now so racist towards anyone white or English, or anyone who even looks like me. I would never dare speak to them to report crime. I would not email them or phone them. I do not trust them not to be racist towards me. And at a residents' meeting on Thursday, I was not able to come here last Thursday because I went to a residents' police meeting. I told the police straight, I will never report crime to you. I will never speak to a police person alone. I do not trust you. You are racist towards the English and white people, and we will not stand for it.
Come down.
There you go. Not just me saying it. You know, not just me. I'm absolutely sick and tired of these things coming up. There needs to be change. And yet, they're trying to stamp on you from expressing anything which goes against their ideology. And it comes through. And the police are so stupid that there will be change because they're totally outnumbered. And politically, if the vote changes in this country, they're stuffed. All their policies are gone. And all their people that they think they're so comfortable with. And They will come after them. It doesn't matter whether it's reform, although I'm not really that confident of them. But if it's restore, if they say that they're going to come for you and they're going to get you removed from your job and they're going to take your pensions off you, they're going to get my vote. Okay? Because there's no way those police officers should have been allowed to continue on the job. And one of them's already resigned. So they're virtually untouchable now.
That's the problem, isn't it? And even when they get put up on criminal charges, they seem to somehow put the same. If you watch Crime Bodge, a good one. Watch what happens. They put the same judge up all the time, and they seem to get away with it. You know, when they headbutt someone clearly in the street and it's on camera.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us would be going to jail for that. No.
Well, I'll tell you what. Is this Hampshire police brutality coming up right now? Guy's on the ground. Look at him.
3 knees in the head. Not bad, is it? Eh?
Yeah.
Well, at least he looks like he's still fucking alive. You know what I mean? Because didn't need to that to Henry, did they? Because
things like that could kill somebody. Isn't that great? You know, this is it. You know, and they're kicking him while he's down. He's being held by the other officers, and they're kicking him in the head while he's down, and he can't do anything. He can't protect himself. He can't do anything. Right.
Where's the, like, listening to a police officer yesterday, and all right, he was trying to be objective and stuff, and he mentioned some of the things I've said, but then when asked, where was I going with this one? When he was asked why they didn't handcuff the scumbag, because we need him to open up and get information out of him. Okay, well, he's on the floor there. Why is he not? Why are they kicking him in the head? Is that their way of getting information out? The ones who are complaining about
they're getting a lot of information there.
And if they think the ones that kick up 1 sec, so the ones that actually go out and protest and want to speak their minds about what happened to Henry, they get kneed in the head, right? Henry get left there to die. I just sorry. The other guy's allowed to walk round, is he? And go make some food. Is that how you do it? Is that how I see, right?
These people...
The one who kicks me in the fence just has his tea, and the one who complains about it gets a beating. All right, okay.
And we have a politicized police force in this country. They'll go out, they'll wear the rainbow colors for the alphabet crew, okay? You know, they'll do things like that. They'll get down with, you know, every other ethnic minority going, and, you know, they'll go to the mosques and they'll sit down, and yet... they'll bend the knee for George Floyd, but look at them for this.
Really?
Yeah, look at him. Now, one of them should have got down on his knees and just shown them.
The irony of this, John, they're all shouting, "I can't breathe." Knowing all the BLM lot and all that was saying it, but
yeah,
you know, it's all for them. Okay.
But they won't. I don't have any faith in the police in this country now. No, none whatsoever. I have no faith. I feel just like that woman. Right? If I go report a crime, you know, for something, or I won't call them. To be honest with you, what's the point in calling them? Because they don't come out anyway.
I know. And when Thingy was saying we should shun them, and I was like, well, whatever you need to call them. But yeah, I've had to think about that. So remember I told the story where I literally gave them a nonce on a plate who was trying to make sexual advances to a minor. She was 14 and steal a mobile phone. They also had drugs in the car, and the police said, we're aware of the car, but we'll go and have a word with them. And a few weeks later, I said, have you found this car and these people? Oh, well, the boss... the chief super or whatever, he says it's not important, it's not top of our list. Do you want to know why? I never said who they were, did I?
No.
Gypsies, mate. Still done nothing about it.
And they wonder why.
Girl's 18 now, John. That's how long ago it was. Do you know what I mean? They've done nothing, mate. They told me, basically, get lost. So they asked me for some help, and they didn't get it.
And they wonder why... right? People are getting naughty with them.
Mm-hmm. They're throwing bins! Me and young Bob are here. How you doing? Mental! Yeah, I don't actually endorse violence.
you see that? I think someone hit him with something, he's thrown it back. I mean, I don't see what throwing really someone's really going to achieve.
I know. But can you see the frustration of the people? This is what they think of them because they're living in these areas, right? I look at them. Now, this is what the police don't understand. The absolute hatred towards them for the way that they've been treating these people in these communities. You know?
Oh, they do, mate. Oh, they do. Because I've been on protests over 10 years ago where we've been saying shame on you to them. They don't give a shit, mate.
I think it's changed now. I think the police, nobody's actually going to do anything. They're not going to donate to their charities. They're not going to. I think they will answer that call and shun them. Okay? Listen, I know some policemen. One of them in particular, I think he's a two-faced piece of work. Okay? And he knows who he is. And I'm not going to bullshit about it. It's going to come out in the public soon, right? But I'm just,
I don't know if you've watched all the footage. It's on for quite a long time.
Yeah.
You can't be blaming Tommy for any of this because he got off hours before all this.
Yeah, he was away.
But when they went to supposedly the street of the family who covered all this up and really should be sent back to, well, anywhere bar here, they didn't protect any of the surrounding houses in the street, which were having fences broken and wheelie bins thrown. Whose house did they stop? Who did they protect? Whose house?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So they're still doing it, mate, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
No, well, they got to pay attention to who's paying their wages, okay? Because if people say no more, we're not paying you because you're not doing a good job. Well, what are they doing? They're asking you to report everything. In fact, I can quite honestly turn around and say that in certain cases they expect you to deliver the whole case on a plate to them so that all they have to do is go to the CPS, say, here's the case, wonderful. There you go. And then that's it. Justice is delivered. I've seen it. I've seen it before. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in London. All right? In the music industry, I've seen it. Right? And they do nothing. And they'll accept anything. Why did he steal the money? Well, he had an illness. It was the illness that made him steal the money.
But when someone's been voting for not to be replaced for 50 years and then start kicking off, there's no
you're the bad guy.
There's no sympathy then. And it's these same type of people, right, who run the show, who will interfere in other governments and they'll fund uprisings and they'll put the security services in there and they'll take over other foreign governments, won't they?
Yeah.
But anyone stands up to them. Woe betide, full force of the law. We'll all be a corpse in the morning. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, Hermer is this is going to be heaven for Hermer because he's going to be looking round to start stamping down on these people. Oh, you can't attack the police like this. This is horrendous. Well, then allow people to actually get it out in the open so that they've actually got something to talk about in Parliament where they're going to do something because they do nothing there. They talk, they do nothing. So you'll get people like Rupert Lowe who will start bringing it out about the grooming gangs and he'll start saying it as it is. The way it is. And what did the police do about that? Oh my God. You bring that up and that's like, you're the racist one, because you're the one who's kiss my ass, all right? If I could choose to withdraw my money from the police and precept that is paid in Cheshire, I would do it within a heartbeat. Same with the councils, the way that they've actually operated in this country, they are squeezing everybody. And it's mainly, and I'm just going to say, it's the majority white that are actually funding most of the things in this country. I don't care about where they're saying they're drawing their workforce. It's the majority white that are funding all these services. Okay? And I don't care what they say about that. That's the truth. And we could get the figures to back it up. All right? Who is sucking the most life out of people in this country? Financially, with welfare, benefits. Who is it? You proved it the other night.
Well, if you just look at the census data, they release it in dribs and drabs. So it took a few years, and this is going back, like 5 years ago now. But yeah, there's only one ethnic group that is less inactive from work than what they call the white British population. It's the Irish. You look at the Arabs, you look at the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis, it's 40, 50, 60, 70%. That have actually admitted to it, that have owned up to it on a census. But, do you know what I mean? And 5 years ago...
And
so
all
the
the
Boris
ethnic...
wave, plus the Boris wave, plus all the people who've lied, plus the ones who didn't fill the census in, plus all the illegals who they don't know they are.
And the ethnic privileges that they get, the ability to carry knives,
all thanks to Fentanyl Floyd, eh?
Yeah.
Brilliant. That Derek Chauvin needs to come out of prison. He needs to be pardoned, mate, and then maybe we can. Stop this from happening again. But with the main thing is you just try and vote these people out. Get active, get standing, help out, do whatever you can.
Get them out.
Try and stop
We've got to get control
before it escalates to something far, far worse than what we've just watched in them videos, John. Because
listen to this two-faced piece of political excrement. Here it is.
Like you, I was shocked and angered at the killing of George Floyd. And the response of President Trump and the US authorities to the peaceful protests, to people rightly demanding justice, has been an affront to humanity. The last week has shone a spotlight on the racism, discrimination and injustice experienced by those from black and minority ethnic communities in the US, in the UK and across the world. Martin Luther King said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." That's why today I've written to the Prime Minister asking for his assurance that the British government is doing all that it can to urge President Trump to respect human rights.
Now listen to how passionate he is there.
To peaceful protest.
Now listen to him now.
This week,
this was his statement.
I think Nigel Farage's reaction is the wrong reaction. And I start my answer to your question through the eyes of the family. They have said they do not want this whipped up. They have been through the most extraordinary, awful experience. They don't want this whipped up. And Nigel Farage is completely wrong to use this to try and create division. He would be wrong in any circumstances. But when Henry's family are saying, please don't do that, it's our son, then really, as politicians, as human beings, we should start where they start. And that's where I start.
Yeah, let's just shut up for the sake. Sorry, I've had enough of him. Let's just shut the fuck up for the sake of diversity because someone told you. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Henry's family and to what happened to Henry. But this is far, far bigger than him because he's not the first by a long shot. He's not going to be the last by a long shot. It's our children they're doing this to.
Yeah.
They're doing this to the kids in school. I swear to God, we're going to go into this as well. If you can call anyone names in school, you can slag off dead parents, you can abuse their looks, their weight, their intelligence, their wealth, anything you want, mate. Nothing happens to you. Told off. Mention skin colour, even when you deny it, suspended. Say Allahu Akbar when you didn't mean no harm, suspended.
This is the bullshit that's going on in this country.
Taking the piss out of our children.
And everybody's too frightened to say it. They're too frightened to call it out. No, I'm sorry, okay? I am nervous as a white person now in this country to exist because I am frightened that somebody of color has just got to make some sort of an accusation and that's it. I'm going to get the police knocking on my door to go do things. Well, I tell you what, better be prepared. Because if I can get you on a misconduct in a public office or if I can attack you in any way for this kind of crap that you're pulling on the public of this country, then it'll happen. I'll find the legal means to do it. And other people should now. They should stand up. They should help people like the Free Speech Union. You know, they are actually tackling problems like this. The judges, the judiciary. Oh, there's just so much.
Again, they're pissing into the wind, because if you carry on leaving the people in the positions of power who make the laws, it doesn't matter what you do in a court case. They'll
Get
just
them out.
They'll fucking double down as soon as it's fucking King's speech, and they'll just ram more of it through, John, and ram more of it through. And they'll ram that much of it through that no one even knows what's happened until it's too late. And that's exactly how Tony Blair and all them have created this mess. And democracy doesn't work, so is it any wonder people are frustrated and might start throwing?
And then they're going to get hammered for actually expressing that frustration, because this specky-eyed piece of work, right, is basically going to, use his power, whoever he's being, controlled by, because he's just like a puppet to me. He's just a puppet. Somebody else is pulling his strings. Okay. Same with some of the other politicians as well. They're getting their strings pulled, and it's just sickening. Sickening.
Anyone doesn't believe it. I've got one name, two words: Liz Truss.
Yeah.
You think you can change this country? Watch what happens. You just try and change it financially, and you're gone within weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be a long shot fixing this, but we've got to try for the sake of our children, mate, because it's now affecting them to the point where they're, in trouble in school. Could be worse. Could be left for dead on a driveway.
Yeah. I'm not having it. And if anybody in the police thinks, he's just got one against the police. No, I haven't got one. I'm not the only one. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands of people have got one against you. And I'm not the only one. The politicians are against you as well. They see you. And they see these people that have been trying to push these DEI policies, and it's there. The document is there. There should be no discrimination for any colour. Take colour out of it. But as soon as you do, and you've got it in there, we need it out. Because you're making people frightened. You're making people who are white frightened.
Starmer's full of shit. They'll double down, mate. Watch. Mark my words. They're not going to review policies. They're going to go, oh, these are excellent policies. These are just what we need. They'll double down, mate. I'm telling you now. They're not going to remove that, are they? All this stuff was put in by the Fabians, John. They're not going to reverse their own crap. But it's called, again, here we are again, where the Fabians bullshit is now causing the Fabians problems years down the line, because we've had decade after decade of people who haven't got a clue how the law works, making laws. Who the hell's advising them in Parliament? I don't know. None of them have got a clue. All the laws don't make sense. They're all vague. They all contradict each other. So they mean anything. They'll use them to their advantage, apart from the constitutional documents, which they all pretend don't exist, until they want to slag someone off in Parliament like Tommy, then they exist again. What a treat. Two-faced bastards, and I'm sick of them. Vote them out. Get rid of them. Never vote for any of them ever again.
No.
Not saying that's going to fix it, but we've got to try.
It's going to help. It's going to help.
The alternative, John, is going to.
Well, the alternative is Henry Novak.
Well, no, the alternative is going to make what happened in Southport and last night look like a little handbags in a car park with two football players.
They'll push people too far now. They'll push people too far, and once you do that, and you push the English, okay, they didn't stop. I mean, when Germany were actually, having a go at the English, they didn't back down. They went for it. And all they needed was $3.5 billion, right, from the Americans. And they paid the loan back. They paid it back to the Americans. The one thing about the country I came from, right, that really annoyed me, because they forgave the French that loan, and they forgave some of the other countries, but the British paid it back. And they paid back that $3.5 billion back.
I know, but the problem here is this is an internal enemy, and they're within our own English, Scottish, Irish ancestry.
Well, in that case, then we need help from America now. We need help from them, because we've got to get rid of these scumbags. Okay. We need Elon Musk to help out. We need Elon Musk to back Rupert. We need them here to help us get rid of this, these scumbags, because they are hurting us.
Mate, we can't be like, oh, can you come and help me, please? No, the only people who are going to get us out of this mess is ourselves, by getting active, getting out, and try and change this politically.
Yeah.
Long shot.
I understand.
Black pill.
It's wishful thinking on my part. We do need help. Okay. We need a change.
Mate. We can't be relying on other people to come in, because they're not going to. It's not going to happen. What can they do? Nothing. We're the ones who've got to fix this. And it doesn't need to be everyone. People are waiting for all the sheep to wake up. They never have. They never will.
Well, they got Maduro.
The same during Brexit. It was the same all the way through. We just need really good people, and not loads of them, to try and change. Look, we're being shafted by a minority. A minority can turn it round. And then what happens is the sheep follow the crowd. Look what's happened, mate. It was only 4 or 5 years ago where it was a two-party, red and blue, and no one would diverge from that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't vote them in, you're going to get them. And if you vote for them, you let them in. Well, now what's happening, mate? Now you've got a third party coming in, and the Greens have come. And look how the Lib Dems have done on the quiet, on the side. No one's talking about them. They've took a lot of council seats. They've still held a load.
Yeah.
And now you've got Restore coming through. Look what happened in America 10 years ago. You wouldn't have expected Trump. Do you know what I mean? So it is possible to do something. And
have you seen he's put a court case forward?
Get off your arses.
Do you see he's put a court case forward so he can get another 4 years stab at being able to say about the election? You know, the way that it was stolen from him first time round. I'm saying, well, you know, if it happens, it happens.
Rules are there to be broken, but they're ignored and abused by our establishment. So all the tricks they pulled on Trump, tried to literally jail him, put all his mates in prison. He's nearly, how many times has he tried to be assassinated? Don't blame him for having another go. That's nothing compared to what they've done to him.
Well, if he wins, then he's going to get a stab at another 4 years, because after this term, those are his terms. But he feels that he was stolen in the first place. But anyway,
he must be bloody mad with another 4 years of people shooting at you. No, if I just quit after the next 4 years, just when you're in your 80s, mate, you know what I mean. You might not be able to get down as quick. And
well, here's we're going to end with this, and we're sorry about Henry, and we hope that people do take the knee, and that something more happens here to make this our George Floyd moment for these people, and to expose, the two-faced nature of the people within this country, especially the politicians and the police. It's too much. It's too much. Thank you very much for your comments. I'm sorry if I got emotional about some of these things, but it angers me so much, because I'm thinking, what if that was our son? How would we be feeling?
It could very easily be, John. Before we finished, how it all started, listening to the judge's comments.
Go on.
The court documents. Apparently, they bumped into someone's bumped into someone walking down the road. He's had the big knife on show. The second knife from this different group or sect or whatever. And then Henry's gone, "Are you a bad man, are you?" and tried to film him, probably for his own safety. And then the scumbags took his phone, so obviously Henry's probably tried to take it back. And they've had a scuffle. Knife, about 8-9 inches in there, punctured a lung, about 2 pints of blood inside of him. Look, okay, the police might not have been it, probably couldn't have saved him, John, to be honest. But they didn't know that, though, did they? The scumbags. They didn't know that. They could have... maybe they wouldn't have even seen the... They'd have seen
They
it
did nothing to help the kid.
No?
They knew he'd been stabbed.
Been stabbed in the chest, the thighs, and the groin area. And they've done nothing to help him. Okay, it looks like they couldn't have done. But that's not the point, is it?
Change. We need that change. It can't happen again, because...
No, God,
no, it can't.
It can't.
Isn't it?
John,
if these tossers don't take the knives off them, okay? I mean, I will vote for any party that's going to remove, right, incredibly poor judges, going to get rid of these chief constables who are pushing this DEI training, for their people, and get rid of them and give us a vote on the police in this area, all right? Give us a vote so that we can actually say, no, we don't like him, get rid of him. Get him out. He's rubbish, okay? So that we get service for the money that's being spent. And they say, oh, we never have enough money, right? You don't do anything for the money you're getting now. I don't see it. All I see from the council is our bins being collected. That's it. And council tax is due to go up. It's going to go up. And where's the money going? What's it being doing? I mean, the council, it's just
worrying,
fed up of all of them.
we've had 20 years now, over 20 years of people being blown up on trains. We've had people being blown up at concerts. We've had children being beheaded. Now they're being left. We've had our soldiers are being attacked non-stop. Our politicians have been murdered. Yet the majority of people just don't seem arsed of doing anything. And then
they've got to.
There's a minority of people who just mouth off about it all and do nothing.
We've got to get change. We've got to get change. Well, to be honest with you, Mark, I'm not going to do any end vids, and I'm just going to say thanks so much, for coming on tonight, and thank you to the people that have been listening, to me having a rant, Mark having a rant about different things, and I meant everything I said about the Police and Crime Commissioner and Cheshire Police. It's coming, because we're going to be doing a story about it, and we're going to pump it out.
I know, mate, but in the great scheme of things, that doesn't really seem that relevant right now.
I know, but in some ways it is, because it's showing up how poor they are at dealing with things.
Yeah, well, hopefully get a decent government in, and we'll scrap all them crime commissioners anyway, because that's just another layer of political bureaucracy. We just don't need, mate. They don't know anything about policing anyway, half of them. So.
Okay. Well, we're just going to finish it there. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to go. Take it easy, and we'll see you all on Friday at some point. Alrighty. Bye for now.
So I'm saying take care of yourselves.
Indeed. Well, yeah.